Here's a wonderful opportunity to get over some things which are repeated about Quebecers, Bloc Québécois, those who speak French or want the French language to prosperate. For the time being, what we have to prove is that this guy will deliver services rapidly and efficiently. And he will be with us tomorrow at the caucus, but Thursday he'll be here and he'll be working.
That's the voice of Yves-François Blanchette, leader of the Bloc Québécois, talking about our next guest, joined in studio by Louis-Philippe Sauvé. He's the Bloc candidate who won the by-election in LaSalle-Émard-Verdun on Monday night, beating out the Liberals, taking that riding from the Liberals, and he's in studio. Louis-Philippe, welcome to the studio. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me. Good morning.
Let me ask you this. You're a Verdun boy, 8 years living in Verdun. So a true Verdun boy wins the riding. How'd you do it? Why do you think you won?
Well, I spent a lot of time going on door to door, so canvassing, trying to see people. I was everywhere in the riding. I went to LaSalle, I went to Ville-Émard, I went to Côte-Saint-Paul and Verdun. So really a field campaign. Yeah, that's what made the difference.
What did you, when you were, I hear this all the time, we go door to door. What were you hearing when you would go door to door? What were the people of LaSalle-Émard-Verdun telling you?
Well, the main concern was about housing and the cost of living. So many people were anxious about that. As I am myself, I'm a tenant, I'm a renter, and so I'm sorry. So I know how anxious we can get when we see the rise of the rent in Montreal and everywhere. So we talk about that. We talk about the insatisfaction towards the government of Canada. So I tried to, build a bridge with the people that were not satisfied, saying that if people wanted to send a strong message to Ottawa, they had to vote for the Bloc Québécois.
Now, it was a tight race. Obviously, you have the Liberals who had won that riding repeatedly. The NDP, of course, they were running a campaign as well. How much did you think you had a shot in this one? When did you start to say, "Oh boy, we may be the winners. We may be first to pass the finish line here"?
Well, it was a really, really narrow path, but we got there. But the conversation I had with the president of the riding association in April when we approached me to run in this election was like, oh, if I lose, no one will reproach me,
Yeah.
And now I run. So it's miraculous, but yeah.
So it's interesting, you say when you were going to door to door, people are talking about the cost of housing, right?
Yeah.
Like what an issue that affects almost everyone, the cost of housing. So that's what you're hearing on the ground. People keep telling you cost of housing, cost of housing. When the news came out of the flyer from the NDP candidate, Craig Sauvé, and he's got a flyer where he's in front of the Palestinian flag.
Yeah.
Did you think, oh, we have a if the NDP should be that party of the housing, right?
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people think. When you saw that, what did you think? Oh, we've got a bigger opening here?
Well, of course, it helped. Mm-hmm. It helped, but it brought down the NDP and it pushed the Liberals up.
Uh-huh.
I think that at the very end of the campaign, the Liberals were really combative. They gave everything they had, and I have big respect for that. They fought and they fought well, but we won.
So now the Bloc Québécois will have 33 MPs in Ottawa. You are number 33. What's your goal heading to Ottawa?
Well, first thing first, I got to hire people and offer services to the population, to the citizens. We've been 8 months without an MP, so that's my main priority for the short term. But, I came into politics to make a difference, so I'm here to champion Quebec's interests and to fight for independence.
We're with Louis-Philippe Sauvé, the Bloc candidate who won, now the MP for the riding of LaSalle-Émard-Verdun. So, and I don't know, maybe you know this. Are you the Bloc MP that represents, maybe in the history of the party, the most Anglophones? Like, I'm just looking demographically.
Yeah.
Has the Bloc ever won a riding that is as Anglophone as your writing.
Yeah, I think it's the very first time. I saw a paper in the National Post saying that it was the first time that BQ won a by-election against the Liberals. So that's an historic win for a party. But it's a big responsibility, and I want to be a member of parliament for everyone, for a francophone and anglophone alike. And it brings me a big responsibility. I think I can be a bridge between the anglophone and the rest of Quebec. I want to engage in conversation. I know it won't be an easy conversation, even though I've been a hardliner separatist all my life. But I like challenges, and I want to show the people of Montreal that maybe independence should be the right path for everyone, even for Quebecers that are Anglophone.
And perhaps, let's say the separation, independence, maybe that for a lot of our listeners is you're never going to be able to convince them. Yeah. But what do you say to someone who you now represent in that riding, who, hey, maybe we disagree on separation, but there's so many other things perhaps that you have in common. What's your message on perhaps the issues where you see a lot of consensus?
Well, our priority at the Bloc Québécois right now is to improve the pension plan for every senior citizens. So we're going to negotiate hard with the Liberal government so that people between 65 and 74 get their fair share of pension. So we want to end up the discrimination, because these people are discriminated against.
Because they get less than someone at 74.
Yeah, that's correct. So that's one of our focus. I'm going to fight for more housing, more funding of the federal government in housing. So all the 5 priorities I've advocate for throughout this campaign, I'm going to push them.
So we saw over the last couple of years, right, the NDP with that supply and confidence deal, they successfully got the federal government to move on a lot of programs, dental care, you name it, right? They got some. Are you saying now the Bloc Québécois will try and extract similar victories with similar programs? You just mentioned old age security, that kind of thing. Is that the focus of the Bloc here? Extract from the Liberals in the same way the NDP did over the last couple of years?
Yeah, that's correct. Now we have the balance of power since the supply and confidence agreement has come to an end. So we'll try to take the advantage. Of course, we're going to have a lot of pressure. There are many Tories that, are dreaming of having a majority government, a super majority government, but we won't be impressed by that. And we're going to negotiate hard to get things done for Quebecers.
I imagine this is a tricky question, because if we end up in a general election, your re-election probably gets a little bit trickier, right? That's going to be maybe a tougher fight. So what's your crystal ball say about when we will end up in a federal election? What do you think is going to happen here? How far can the Bloc Québécois support the Liberals? At a certain point, I imagine an issue will come up that is not in Quebec's best interest, and you'll have to vote against it.
Yeah, I put my trust in my leader, Mr. Terrien, who negotiate with Mrs. Gould of the Liberal government. I put my trust in Mr. Blanchet. These are reasonable men. They are the adults in the room, so to say. And I think that they're going to they're going to make the best decision, and I'm going to follow my leaders.
So for our listeners who may live in the riding and now you're their MP, this is a funny thing to ask. Obviously, you're a federal politician, but we know about language and this issue is so tricky. Can an Anglo living in Verdun send you an English email and you're going to respond in English? How does that work?
Yeah, I'll answer in French and in English alike. So, of course, my communication will be mainly in French, but I'll always answer to any Anglophone in English if they want. And it's always good to have an opportunity to practice. So,
well, you're doing fantastic on air, by the way. Come back anytime.
Yeah.
Louis-Philippe Sauvé is the new MP for LaSalle-Émard-Verdun. Félicitations.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you.
And I guess 2-3 weeks is when you'll finally get to sit in the House of Commons.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I would imagine it must be so exciting. Thank you again for coming in.
Thank you.